certain black women are starting to have conversations with one another on social media. And of course, the dating behavior of some of these black men they are encountering has become very frustrating for them. Now, despite them having friends or them having kids out of wedlock and congratulating other women for having, a blessing and, being pregnant and, even though the fathers might not be there, they themselves do not want to deal with black men that are raised by other single mothers. They feel like these black men are sort of incompetent when it comes to his role in the relationship. He doesn't know how to lead. He doesn't know how to provide. Emotionally, he is not stable, so she can't trust him. They feel like, well, dealing with these men in the black community, I might like what he looks like and the sex might be good, but long term, I can't be with him. I need me a white man. I need me somebody else, right? And the conversation has to come back to this. Weak, young, black boys grow up to be weak, young, black men, or weak, older black men. Now, I'm not talking about being weak as far as physical stuff is concerned. I'm not talking about being weak as, anything to do with physicality, right? I'm talking about masculinity has a certain mindset, a certain strength, a certain level of, we got to get the job done. We have to make it happen. And I'm not going to stop until it's done. It's a killer instinct that men have to have in order to push their community forward, in order for the women to feel safe, in order to provide situations for their children, for their families. That's where masculinity kicks in. Whereas a woman may want to go to bed at at 7 a.m, a man's going to be like, look, it has to be done. Nobody else is going to do it. I have to do it. And if I don't do it, it won't get done. That is masculinity. And women are looking for a man that's not going to make any excuses, is going to be producer. But the reality is they can't find them. At least not the ones that they want to find that, that are good looking, right? There are black men out there, but not to the level of what they're looking for. And so my question is, did the black community create enough of these men for black women to pair with? Number one, there are 2 million less black men than black women. Okay, that's number one. So we already had a disparity there. But for these women that these black women want, where did these young men have any mentorship? And guys, if there's one job that you learn on the job every day, that's the hardest job in the world, that requires so much emotional discipline, financial discipline, that comes to being a leader, executing ideas, executing and producing, that is being a man. You can't guess it. You need a lot of help. Taking care of women is a huge responsibility. And a lot of black men out there don't want to take care of women because they don't know how to. And it's so much of a huge responsibility to do so. To take care of communities. A lot of black men ain't gonna want to do that because, number one, they feel already excluded and they don't know how to. They don't know how to build businesses. They don't know how to build business networks. Nobody taught them to. Okay? The black community didn't prepare them to do so. And the women, when they got pregnant, that wasn't in the description. What was in the description was, I can handle it on my own. I can raise my son to be a man. I can raise my son to be a good person. And we've seen that, yeah, there's a lot of black men that are probably good people and nice coming from single mother homes, but they don't have what it takes to build families. They don't have what it takes to build businesses, to build networks. You want to know why? Because there's no mentorship there. At least for me, when my parents divorced in 1994, I had a lot of resources available to me. Okay. That's almost 30 years ago. I had my dad still. I had an older brother. But more importantly, I had people like Deacon Leonard, Deacon Boatwright. You know, shout out to, I believe he's still there, Pastor Eugene Washington over at Mount Olive. We had a lot of men that came from the South in the Great Migration that had an interest and had a sense of community for young black boys' lives. They make you get out there and clean the church up on Saturdays and make you go out there and go to the brotherhood meetings on Mondays, where you get to interact with men and understand how men talk to each other, how to have respect for men, how to deal with other men, how to do that as a man. Okay. How to have some pride in your community. You don't just throw stuff on the ground where you live. You see, that was the kind of attitude. So when I grew up, I saw men coming together and working together, which is why when I came to the internet, I came to the black manosphere because I was used to that. Men helping each other. Men not backbiting on it, stuff like that. So that's why I've always been so good with working with other black men. I seen it when I was coming up. Now, as far as being, a better maid and taking care of women, that's something, I'll be honest, I've learned on the way. But it took some practice. A man has to want to do that. And the women that are complaining about these guys who can't do that, can we have an honest admission? Y'all played a role into these guys how they are now. I'm solely not blaming you. But what I can't let certain sisters do is complain about some of the product that y'all helped develop in the black community also. This is why Ron Wills wrote an article, said black women complain about the issue they complain about what they created, the problem they created or helped create. A lot of these boys don't know how to be men, and black women helped along in that too, just like black men did. But then when it comes to how they act, sisters will never say, hey, listen, we played a role in creating a lot of these guys because we wanted that baby by the guy and we didn't care if he stuck around or not. Not going to say that. And then when it turned out to be that they can't lead, they can't produce, that they're emotional like the moms that they grew up with, then it's a problem. Young business owners, young doctors, lawyers, if you don't create the spaces for these people, do you think they're going to get there by luck? A lot of people think that luck is what's going to happen. Like, a lot of times in Africa, right? People would have 15 kids, hoping that was the insurance policy that, somewhere along the line, those kids will come back and take care of that family. Let me tell you something, don't work. You got to be intentional about your kid's life. What are they going to do? What school will they go to? What are the resources available to them? Is he going to be a man? Is he going to be a woman? It's training into that. When there's no training, how do you expect that child's going to become something? Male or female? And the reason why we don't have enough black men to be leaders and to be husbands, simply because the black community didn't want that. We didn't want that. We didn't care. We just wanted the actual bodies here. We didn't care if they did anything. And now people are complaining about it. How are these guys supposed to figure it out when nobody taught them? But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the episode series here, guys. Thank you so much. We're out.